Its hope life in Australia will be very different come Christmas, as Prime Minister Scott Morrison warns lockdowns may still be required into next year. Live now to our political reporter Andrew Crothers. Andrea, 239 cases in New South Wales. The Prime Minister says this current lockdown must work.
Laura, as you were just discussing, with vaccination rates where they are at the moment, so much is riding on this lockdown working, not just for New South Wales, but nationally as well. But we've seen a quite significant shift in the lockdown politics here from the federal government. Early on, Scott Morrison was backing in Gladys Berejiklian, praising her for not plunging the state into lockdown sooner. And in recent days, we've certainly seen him firm up a pro-lockdown approach. Today, he was even indicating that New South Wales perhaps needed to work harder to flatten the curve.
So, I mean, the lockdown's keeping somewhat of a lid on it, but we need to do better than keep a lid on it. We need to drive it down. And for that to happen, Carl, this lockdown just has to work. It has to have all the features that ensures that we drive this down, because there's no shortcuts.
Now, since the very start of this pandemic, we were told that getting jabs in arms was key to getting through to the other side of the COVID crisis. As our vaccination rate does start to slowly go up, Scott Morrison has indicated a Christmas timeline. That's when he's confident that lockdowns could well be a thing of the past, except in extenuating circumstances. Now, Federal Labor, they have little faith.
But this is the man who has been heroic in terms of the timetables and the goals that he's set himself and Australia, but he has consistently failed to meet every one of them. So I don't take any timeline that he puts on the table with any seriousness at all. What is right is that we've got to get the vast bulk of the population vaccinated if we're to get to the other side of this.
It's all about getting this vaccine. AstraZeneca is readily available. The Prime Minister urging anyone who can get it to get it.
Yeah, we know that Pfizer may be in shorter supply in some areas, but AstraZeneca, that's where the doses are. The Prime Minister really urging people to go out and get it, but not just that, to consider even bringing forward their second dose of that from that 12-week mark. Now, this was quite an interesting exchange on Melbourne radio this morning, and it also does appear to somewhat contradict the ATAGI advice. This is ATAGI, Australia's immunisation experts who advise on this situation. So this is the advice from ATAGI. They say people in areas where outbreaks are occurring can receive the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine 4 to 8 weeks after the first dose, rather than the usual 12 weeks. But Scott Morrison in this exchange indicating that he'd want all Australians to consider doing that.
I need to get the whole country vaccinated as well.
So are you asking
us all? We get there,
you're asking everybody,
and it can be done safely.
Are you asking everybody to bring forward their AstraZeneca dose?
I'm just saying we should get vaccinated as soon as possible.
But is that the way? Do you want everybody to... Prime Minister, people are screaming for leadership on this, as you well know. Do you want everybody to bring forward their AstraZeneca dose?
Well, if they're in a position to do that, well, that is consistent with the licence for AstraZeneca.
Now, Laura, National Cabinet, it meets again tomorrow, and they'll be armed with some crucial modelling from the Doherty Institute just around vaccine thresholds. How much of Australia needs to be vaccinated to fundamentally change the way we live with this virus? Scott Morrison has the information. It'll go to premiers and chief ministers tomorrow. Whether it will be made public, well, the Prime Minister has indicated that might not occur just yet.
Yeah, we're hoping weeks. It's not going to be months, we hope, before we get that modelling. Andrea, thank you.